What is going on, you guys? My name is Cisco.
And I'm Isaias, and today we're going to be taking a look at three very similar but different pistols. The EMG STI Combat Master, the JAG Arms Combat Master, and the KLI 1911 Baba Yaga Hi-Capa. So without further ado, let's get into it. Cisco?
Alright, so first off, we're going to be talking about trademarks. Obviously, the KLI does not have any trademarks listed in there. It is a 5.1 variant, so it would be upgradable with any 5.1 slides. Compared to the JAG Arms and the EMG, they are going to be 5.4 slides, so you're going to have a little bit harder time of getting a slide and a barrel to match that. Obviously, the JAG Arms and the EMG are going to have the trademarks. I do like the finish on the EMG a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a flat black versus a little bit more shiny with the JAG Arms. But the laser engraving on the JAG Arms is a little bit more pronounced, which is very nice in my opinion. The trademarks are going to be along the slide, the magazine well, and the mag well and the base plate. On the EMG, it is going to have the STI trademarks on both the flared magwell and the base plate, but the JAG Arms is going to have the Taran Tactical trademarks, which is very nice in my opinion because it is a Taran Tactical custom. So, Isaiah, what do you got to say about it?
So, trademarks, yes, are definitely cool, but doesn't make or break the deal for me. One of the things that I do want to take a look at is actually going to be the mag release. So on the KLI, you're going to be using a standard mag release, a little bit of texturing on there, so very simple. The guys who run 5.1 should be already used to it right now.
Yep, very standard.
Very standard. On the JAG Arms, it is going to be a little bit more pronounced. It's not going to be impeding in any sort of way. It actually sticks. It's actually not too bad. There's no texturing on there, like at least not as much as the. Yeah. Take a look at it.
That one is a little bit more raised, and it does have a wider paddle on the JAG Arms.
So if you have like bigger thumbs, something like that's actually not too bad. Actually, it might be seen as a positive. I don't know. Depends on the person. But when it comes down to the EMG, that guy is sticking out quite a bit.
It's a chunk.
That is, yeah, that's big chunkus right there, dude. Like that really impedes. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Who knows? Maybe there's some guys out there that actually prefer that, but I myself am not. Yeah. There's a little bit of texturing on there, so that is nice. I will give it that. But I just feel it sticks out way too much.
Yeah, that one does have the texturing compared to this one. It is slightly textured, but it's honestly a lot more smooth.
Yeah.
We have had guys who have been handling this, and then they'll go to hold it, and you put your hand underneath, just so I can demonstrate. So, like as you're holding it, it just drops out, just like that. Like
wait,
as I'm getting a regular grip. Like you can see the marks there of like the grease of.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it makes sense for a race gun.
Yes.
But for airsoft, I think it's a little bit impeding. So, just my opinion there. Moving on to the Stippling, the Combat Master by EMG you can honestly tell that it is a molded grip. It's supposed to replicate the kind of fish scale patterning there, but it's honestly very smooth. It doesn't really give you any type of grip. Yeah, like on that grip, the grip on the grip. But the Combat Master does have a very aggressive pattern on there. Like I said, it's supposed to replicate that with the EMG. But this one, you can tell the difference. It feels more solid. And then, like when I'm doing that, like I'm trying to press down on that gun, and my thumb is having a little bit harder of a time getting off of that grip or sliding along the grip. The KLI is a molded grip as well, but the channels on here are much deeper. So when I do feel it, or when I am holding it, it feels about the same as the JAG Arms Combat Master. But I don't know. It's just, one of those things where it doesn't have the extra texturing on the inside of each, what would you call it, dimple?
Dimple.
Yeah, I guess. But it's still very comfortable. It's still very texturized. I know that both the the JAG Arms and the KLI aren't going to have any issues as to where the Combat Master, I might want to re-stipple or put a little bit of grip tape or something on there.
Yeah, I prefer like much more aggressive stippling jobs. So having something like this, like on the JAG Arms, is actually pretty nice. This is not bad. This is definitely an upgrade as opposed to just non-stippled stuff. But out of all three, I would have to give it to the JAG.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget to mention that all of them do come with the flared magwell. Yeah. So it does assist with magazine reloads. And they all do have the undercut right at the trigger guard right there. So it allows you to get a higher grip. Honestly, I think the undercut on the EMG is a little bit more pronounced. But they all do the same thing. It's very comfortable.
They're all functional.
Yeah. They all get really high on the grip.
All right, now we're going to be talking about the sights. So, starting from over here, the KLI will be featuring the fiber sights, both in the front and on the rear. It's smaller on the rear, but it's still visible. I don't know how you feel about this, but I've always preferred green. I don't know, to my eyes, I feel like I can see it a little bit more, especially in the daytime. I feel like I can see it as opposed to red. For whatever reason, I have some trouble seeing it. I don't know if I just have messed up eyes or something.
I mean, some people are colorblind.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that about myself.
You could be a little bit colorblind. In my opinion, green does stand out a little bit more than red. Even though, if we're getting really technical, red travels a little bit further in the color spectrum. Okay,
right.
That's too
long. Moving on, the JAG arms will be featuring a red front. However,
like the red orangish one?
Yeah, red orange.
Well, show that off.
There you go, if you can kind of see.
Versus that green one.
Is that green one, yeah. So the green is a little more pronounced. The red isn't bad though. However, I do wish that the rear would have also been fiber as well, as opposed to just what do you call it, bucket sights or?
It's just like the traditional 5-1 iron sight. There's just no dots on there, so
even just a white dot would have been okay. I do think they did skimp out on that. That's one small thing that I wasn't a huge fan of, but at least they have a front. Same thing with the EMG. It does feature the green up front. Well, thank God for that. But again, just standard sights in the rear. So not too bad, but again, out of all three, I definitely would have to give it to the KLI for having fiber on both the front and the rear. Yeah,
it just makes it easier to line up the sights, especially in like low light scenarios, which the fiber optics are made for. It's trying to grab as much light as possible and present them to you instead of you having to fumble around in the dark trying to put like just a post.
I can't see.
So the sights are really cool. Like you, I do have to give it to the KLI. Just having the fiber optics there, you can remove them if you don't want it. So having the option is really cool. Going over FPS ratings, the EMG is going to be shooting around 350 to 370. The JAG arms is going to be around 340 to 360, and then the KLI is going to be around 330 to 350 FPS. That is on CO2. On green gas is going to be a little bit less, but I do have to mention that the KLI is the only gun that can take CO2 out of the box. And with CO2, the hardest kicking pistol that I've ever shot.
Same.
Like, insane. Like, I've shot other pistols that are CO2, the Elite Force Glock 17, the 1911. Those feel very well and they're very snappy, but this just takes the cake, honestly. It's very nice. I think that might have to do with maybe just the build quality overall. The EMG, when you are cycling it, it feels a little gritty. Like, you can kind of hear it. It doesn't sound like it has too strong of a recoil spring. The JAG arms is a little bit smoother. Like, you could tell, definitely. It does feel like a little bit more of a stronger recoil spring there. But the KLI, that is just, butter. It is a little bit louder, but I don't know.
I don't mind the loudness.
Honestly, it's a little bit more intimidating. Like, that is just, it feels about the same strength in recoil spring. But this having, being reinforced to handle CO2 out of the box, and you can use green gas or CO2, whatever you want, is a very big bonus in my opinion. Just get the CO2, it's dope.
So now that brings us down to the final point is going to be the actual price for all these. These are all going to be retailing for different prices, starting from the EMG. The EMG is going to be retailing for $195 right now. The JAG Arms is going for $149.99 to $150. And the KLI normally retails for $170. However, it has been, and for a little while, it will continue to be on sale for $135 for the green gas variant. And if you want to get the one with the CO2 magazine, it's actually going to be $140.
You said normally it is around $170.
Yeah, $170.
So this would be, if we were just going off of retail price, this would be in second place. The JAG Arms being a little bit more affordable, and then the EMG being the most expensive. But with that sale price, of course, KLI takes the lead on that. Like I said before, one of the biggest points for me is going to be that the KLI is a 5.1 slide. That is a huge bonus because you can upgrade it with aftermarket parts like barrels, both inner and outer barrel. The slide itself can be swapped out as well. You just have more options versus
the 5.4 design for the EMG and the JAG just makes it that much more inconvenient. Now, if you were going for something that you wanted to go ahead and find a little more parts for in the future, because with the sheer amount of aftermarket parts there are for TM spec 5.1s, I'd kind of have to give it to the KLI. It just makes more sense. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll put the links down in the description, and we'll see you guys later. Take it easy, guys.
Peace.